Hello and welcome to Calling the Real You. I'm Pamela Horton, your host, and today we are going to be speaking with a very special woman. I'm supremely inspired actually to bring you all connecting with her. Her name is Tara Marino, and she is a woman that has helped thousands of women live the life that they desire without sacrifice. And today we're going to be talking about how to be all of ourselves, and be is capital letters, when we require to let go of decisions that no longer serve us and that no longer serve in general. Tara, welcome to Calling the Real You podcast.
Thank you, Pamela, so much. It's an absolute joy and pleasure to be here, and it's, just connecting with you for a few minutes before the call and being able to feel your energy and your commitment to service and what it is you're bringing forward. I thank you for what it is you're doing in the world, because it's evident that you are giving yourself permission to be all of who you are. And always we grow and continue in what that means, but I just would like to recognize you first and foremost for standing forward in who you are. It's really an honor to be around women like that. You're welcome.
Thank you. It's easy when you, such as yourself, a woman of your stature, and you're stunningly beautiful, by the way. It's just very easy to follow my footsteps when someone like yourself has already blazed the trail, who is living your full purpose and really being a beautiful role model. I want to talk about, Tara, I know that you're committed to living a beautiful life no matter the circumstances. I've had conversations with Dave, your husband, who is another wonderful, beautiful human being. Tell me, what does that mean to you, living a beautiful life no matter the circumstances? What does that mean?
I love this question because I think that we often get stuck inside this paradigm of an ideal, and we think that living a beautiful life looks like a restoration hardware catalog, and this is not the case. Women have so many, and society, right? I'm not looking for a blame, but I'm looking for really what we live inside. There's a societal expectation that things are supposed to be perfect. And when I say beautiful life, I am not talking about perfection. I am not talking about waiting for the ideal circumstances for you to give yourself permission to live the way you want to live. When I say beautiful life, I'm talking about a truthful life, a life that's authentic to who you are in any given life stage. One of the quotes that changed my life was John Keats. Beauty equals truth, and truth equals beauty. That is all ye on earth need to know. And when I discovered that truth, my connection and my affinity for beauty really felt like it went to the next level. I've always loved beautiful things. And I am, yes, talking about external beautiful things, because I don't think that that's something we brush off like not important. I really do believe beauty heals. And so when I say beautiful life, I am talking about giving yourself permission to surround yourself with things that you find are a reflection of your truth, whether that be a chandelier or a lamp, or whether that be the way you choose to raise your children, or the way you choose to work and be of service in the world. And when I say any circumstance, I think that we can get really easily trapped inside of the waiting for something else outside of us to be ideal, and then we'll make the decision, then we'll do the thing. And it just doesn't happen. So ideal circumstances don't exist. Any circumstance does exist. So when I say live a beautiful life, no matter what the circumstance, it's really taking a no-excuses approach to step into your life fully right now, regardless of what's going on, and give yourself permission to, I hesitate for a minute because I don't intend to sound like some cliche motivational speaker as I say this. I really do intend for this to come from the vibration of depth and loving that I feel it inside. We come here to experience certain things, each one of us uniquely and individually, come here to experience, I believe, unique life circumstances that we set forward. So inside of the choice to live a beautiful life, it's about going for all of those unique experiences that I believe you said yes to long ago, not leaving any gift, any opportunity, any experience that your soul longs for, undiscovered? That's a really long-winded answer, Pamela, but I got really excited about the question.
Well, there's a saying, and I really actually don't remember who the original author of the quote was. It might actually be, oh goodness, I'll think of it. But what you're saying. The quote that comes to mind is, some people feel the rain, and some people get wet.
Oh,
and when I'm
that one.
Right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I don't know that one. It's fantastic. You go ahead.
I think it was Bob Marley, but don't quote me on that, everybody. I just, as I was listening to you speak and the spirit with which it was coming from and the energy that was coming from you explaining it, that's what I got the sense of. It is an experience. You can give yourself permission to feel everything, see everything, experience what you've already agreed to prior to coming here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sarah, tell me a little bit. So you're a wise woman. You're a successful businesswoman. You have a beautiful tribe of women that surround you. How did you, what got you there? Give us some highlights of your life, good, bad, indifferent, that brought the success and this way of living for you.
Yeah, I think this is a really important question to answer, because we often see someone, years or decades after they've been through stuff, and we can compare ourselves. Oh, she's there. And sometimes we don't see the whole backstory. This particular journey began in 2002. I actually lost my firstborn son. He died in my arms, and prior to that experience, I had been searching a lot of my life, which I think many of us do, for my purpose. What was it? Why was I here? What was my specific level of impact in the world? And when I got pregnant, Pamela, I thought I had found it. Honestly, I felt so relieved. I thought, oh my gosh, okay, God, thank you so much. I'm going to be a mom. I'm going to devote all my time, all my attention, all my energy units to raising this child. And, my pregnancy went beautifully. I really did shift my entire life and found so much wholeness inside of the identity of being a mom. And so when Mason passed away, not only did I lose the child that I was intending to bring up for the rest of my life, I also lost a huge part of my identity, this safety kind of idea of how I was going to be living my life. So I went through a very, very dark year of depression, of anger, of why me, questioning everything about who I was, what did I have to live for. And, not everybody has experienced the loss of a child, but what I found was that everybody has experienced some sense of loss, whether it was a loss of confidence or a loss of someone they loved or a loss of direction, some sort of loss of identity where you have that defining moment and you just feel stuck and you feel completely lost. And it was about a year after, almost actually a year to the day that he passed, that I opened up a new conversation inside of myself with Spirit. I was on the floor really in kind of a temper tantrum, to be honest, screaming at God. I was just going to say what it was. I was screaming at God, why me? Why this? What am I supposed to do? And the response that I got back is what I now call my indie, but I heard the response, stop asking why, Tara, and start asking how. How are you going to choose to allow this experience to affect the rest of your life? And in that moment, I went from feeling completely powerless to what had happened to me to really feeling a deep inner choice about what I was going to do, given that this was my new life circumstance. And from there, I journaled and I created just really a process for myself. That's really how my entire company started. I every day started connecting with different aspects of who I was and evaluating how I felt at the end of the day. And it was like my lifeline. And so every day I connected with my Frenchie, my Indie, my New Yorker, and communicated with them and what they meant. And the days that I was connected with them, I felt different. And so about 6 months after the creation of this very personalized system, I started coaching other women who had lost children and sharing this with them. And then other women who hadn't lost children but felt that something in their life was missing started to ask me about this approach. And so I just very organically started coaching them as well. And now, that was, almost a decade ago now. And here we are. Elegant Femme has, coached thousands and thousands of women around the world on the FemmeTypes and how to live a life of wholeness, embodying all of who you are. And inside that time frame, we moved to France and we travel all around the world. My husband got a sailing license. We were able to move him out of corporate America, which he had been in for 10 years, and that was part of his dream. And now he's full-time with Elegant Femme. And in that space, I also had 2 precious boys that are still here with me, healthy, very big. One's a teenager now. And, we're moving into the next life phase of what our hearts are desiring next. So that's a little bit of kind of the ups and the downs and the ins and the outs that I think we all go through.
Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit, tell us about the FemmeTypes, briefly, just if you could.
Yeah, I could do a really quick overview for you. So like I said, this was a very personal system. A lot of women will come to me for coaching and say, can you help me? Can you help me create my big idea? And it didn't come from a marketing standpoint of what's my big idea. This came from a really organic approach to healing, which is the foundation of it now and why I feel it resonates so deeply with women. So the FemmeTypes consist of the Frenchie, the Indie, and the New Yorker. Starting with the Indie, this has to do with our being. And I'm not talking about having to do yoga every day. I'm talking about the opportunity for you to feel connected when circumstances are less than ideal, for you to be able to feel into that level of self-worth and self-confidence. So the Indie is really where everything starts. A lot of the world right now runs around in an energy of what we would call faux New Yorker, where really it's all about the doing, the doing, the doing. And everything inside of Elegant Femme has to do with who we are being while we're doing what we're doing. So that's the Indie piece. The Indie really is the starting point. Then from there we have the Frenchie. The Frenchie, I would say, is the number one FemmeType that women put on the back burner. They can usually resonate with her very, very quickly and say to me, oh my gosh, I lost my Frenchie 20 years ago. The Frenchie has to do with enjoying. And she's the FemmeType that has to do with pleasure, but I'm not talking about, just having a strawberry tart. I'm talking about you really being aware of what it is that pleases you. And yes, this has to do with self-care, and yes, this has to do with body image, and it also has to do with relationships. So many women are used to putting themselves last on the list, if they get on the list at all, right? And really providing for everybody else before themselves. For me, a day without my Frenchie puts me into complete resentment. So it's something for women to pay attention to. If you're not in sync with your Indie, you very easily go into overwhelm. If you're not in sync with your Frenchie, you very easily go into resentment. And then finally, we have the New Yorker. And I really am sharing with you, Pamela, really the sequence of these. So the New Yorker is the FemmeType that has to do with power and prosperity and organization. She's the doing aspect of the Femmes, but we want to be really careful because women are doing all day long right now just to get things done. I just had lunch with a girlfriend earlier, and she showed me. She has like 103 things on her to-do list, and she was crying. This is not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about having an extensive to-do list. When it comes to the New Yorker, she assists you in being strategic about what it is you require to do to make movement, not just coming up with a bunch of things that spin your wheels. And so the New Yorker, when she's in sync, you feel fulfillment versus deprivation. So these are just a quick overview of the FemmeTypes, and when they're all in sync for a woman, you really do step into a level of flow and authenticity inside of your life. And we can feel, those of us that have been doing the FemmeType process, you can start to feel very easily when one's out of sync, and it really does change your life experience.
It's so important because it's about balance, and I know that the word balance is overused right now in this space, and what I mean by that is the spiritual personal development space. Right. But with the system like yours, that came from healing, not from a marketing standpoint, that came from personal experience, that comes from a place of service. I mean, you really want to help women be everything that they can be. I mean, that is completely evident. It's even evident when I was having the conversations, as I mentioned earlier, with your husband, Dave. I mean, that is what you do. And through your system, it's flawless. And I commend you and I thank you for hearing the inspiration and actually following through to be able to be of service and help other women, whether they are solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, CEOs of large companies. It doesn't matter. Every woman, I highly recommend really going through the test to find out where you're residing the most, and then how to be able to balance that out. It's just beautiful, Tara. I can't thank you enough for standing tall and shining your light and really leading the way for us women.
It's just, I don't know. I couldn't do it without it. Do you know what I mean? It's really my breath of air as well. And I think that's when you know you really are connected to your purpose, when you get as much out of it as anyone else does. It's a life force for me, Pamela. And when you say the word balance, it's to really evaluate briefly for women that when I say that, I'm not talking about, you need 35% of this and 35% of this and 35% of this, and that's when every day you're balanced. Some days we require a New Yorker day, and we will be, 90% in our New Yorker and require 10% of this and 5% of that, whatever. 10%, what that can add, 5 and 5%, whatever it adds up to. The point is that you give yourself permission to feel into what it is you require for you to feel balanced. It's not this idea that, oh my gosh, I have to keep all the plates spinning in the air at the same point, at the same time, and give this amount of attention towards my kids, this amount of attention towards my husband, this amount of attention towards my business every day. Balance for me is really tuning in with yourself and seeing where you're requiring to put your energy units that day. And having the faith and the confidence inside to gift yourself that permission. That's really important, because us trying to manipulate ourselves to fit into society's idea of balance just is exhausting, if not absolutely impossible. And so I think women need to take the definition of balance inside and ask themselves, what inside of my day is going to allow me to feel balanced? Because the exterior idea of balance is, trying to fit into something else. But if you feel into just for a minute, what would make me feel balanced, and you're really authentic and truthful with it, and you allow yourself to connect with the FemmeTypes around what that might mean, your entire day will shift, and you will feel so much lighter and more liberated to make choices and decisions that are really in alignment with your beautiful life, not somebody else's external expectations of who you should be or how you should perform.
Yeah, I have one more question, and I want to actually talk to you about what current projects you have going on. But before we go there, the question I have for you is, when someone is in a state of resistance, so much so that they don't even know that they're just going, what might you say to that person? What might be something that you can offer up that they can jog themselves awake?
This is a really good question. Let me feel this for a minute. Are we assuming, or are we feeling, Pamela, that this person actually wants help, or is this someone else trying to give someone else advice? How would you like me to frame it?
The question really is coming from, you used the word liberated, and I'm fortunate. I know what that definition means. I know I live a liberated life. I live my life according to my terms, my family's terms, my husband's terms, because we are creating our world. I know fully what that's like. I escaped corporate America. Mm-hmm. For women who may not know, they know the definition of liberated. They can read it from the dictionary, but they may not even know that they need liberating or that they might want to be liberated. They don't know. So this is coming from a place of complete blinders on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I feel, honestly, for a woman to be able to reach for liberation, she has to have some awareness inside that where she is no longer serving her. If she has complete blinders on and she's not seeking anything, I don't think she's going to be impacted. For me, it comes when a woman is feeling some sort of distance inside, like, I might not know the full definition of liberation. I might not even know what that feels like or looks like, but something right now is not feeling good. I feel, this is a strong word to use, but I'm going to use it because I think emotionally it does have such a visceral charge. If you're feeling trapped in any way in your life, that would be, for me, the opposite of liberation. So if you can check in with yourself and just do an authentic inventory, because I do understand that this takes courage. If you can do an authentic inventory, is there any place in your life that you might feel trapped? Because when we feel trapped, we're buying into the idea that we do not have choice. And that's exactly what I was feeling after Mason died. I felt like, I want a million cuss words, and I can't believe I'm here. And I felt so trapped inside of my situation. And as soon as I asked how, as soon as I heard Spirit say, how, and that connection with my indie of how would you like to move forward, I felt that liberation just in that moment. So if you're listening and you're feeling any kind of resonance with what I'm saying, even if you don't have a full definition of what it might look like for you or what the next level is for you, I just invite you to spend a couple of minutes in the silence and just ask yourself, is there any place in my life that I might be feeling trapped? And inside of that, what would I choose instead? And to me, that just gentle kind of conversation and nudging can begin to open up a higher level of conversation that can lead you towards, if you choose, a new level of liberation. Does that answer your question, Pamela? Is that?
Yes, it does. It does. It's perfect. Thank you, Tara. Thank you. So tell me, what do you have going on in your life now? I know in fact, I know that you have multiple projects, and let me share with everyone here. Tara is so talented that she actually created her own fashion line as well, and it debuted last February with a fashion show in Paris, where she received a standing ovation from the Parisian press. And so I know that there's projects that are going on, and I would like to know what's going on now. So share with us what's going on in your world.
You say I'm talented, and sometimes I'm like, I'm talented or I'm crazy or a little bit of both, I see so often women get told we have to choose, are you doing this or are you doing this? And I really have been always all about the and. So yes, we had a fashion show, and we just yesterday, to give you a little update on the fashion line, we just had our first shipment shipped to the warehouse. Before this, my team was packaging everything because we were just kind of in the beginning stages, and now we have an official warehouse for our fashion line, Tara Paris, and so that went off yesterday, so orders are going out, the website's up, and it's just moving. It's incredible. I'll be meeting with the press tomorrow about it, so that's fantastic. On the Elegant Femme side, thank you. And it's really all connected. The fashion line is all about the external embodiment of the FemmeTypes. So even though they're, kind of two different mediums, they really are with the same underlying intention. The fashion line is so that women can wear their FemmeTypes on the outside. So we have that. And then inside of Elegant Femme, I'm super excited. We are opening up our Live You Fully Challenge, which is all about giving women the opportunity to live all of who they are, everything that we've been talking about. And the whole concept of Live You Fully came to me after the fashion show because I had never felt so complete. I felt so in alignment with all of my gifts, and I knew I wanted to create something that would facilitate a deeper opening and embodiment for women who are really committed to living their life on purpose, living a life of joy, and living a life of beauty. So we're starting with the Live You Fully. It's a 9-day challenge, Awaken the Woman Within. And you might say, well, I'm already a woman. I don't need to awaken the woman within. And it really is about awakening the depths of who you are, giving yourself a higher level of permission to participate in the creation of your beautiful life. So that's what's going on now. I'm super excited. I actually feel, Pamela, and I should maybe, knocking on something is kind of superstitious, but I feel that this is the biggest thing we've ever done inside of Elegant Femme, which is a pretty big thing to say, but I really do feel a very, very deep alignment inside of what's been created and the impact it can have.
Fantastic. Congratulations on that as well. I'm excited to see how that unfolds.
Yes. Do you want me to share where everybody can go, or?
Yes, please. Please, where do people find information about that and you?
Okay, cool. So the Live You Fully, I'll spell it out. It's liveyoufully.com, and we're going to go /Pamela. And so I want to spell that out because I know your name has 2 beautiful L's in it. So it's Live You Fully, LiveYouFully.com, and then /Pamela. It's PAMELLA. So there's 2 L's in there for you. And women can go there and sign up for the challenge. If you miss a day, no worries. All the challenge videos will be there for you. Everything's set up. There's even ways I love incentive myself. I love reward. It just fuels my Frenchie. So there's even prizes in there and surprises, and just a beautiful way for women to get engaged and to start honoring more of who they are on a daily basis. So I'm super excited about that, Pamela. Like, really, yeah.
That makes 2 of us.
Yeah, it's like really, really good. Really, really good. And, yeah.
That's
Thanks
wonderful.
for listening.
My really pleasure. It was a pleasure to have you here today with us. And I encourage everyone who's listening, if you feel like something's not quite right or something's missing or you are possibly feeling trapped in areas, or not, you're just curious, please click on a link, and it'll be part of the advertisement in terms of where you see the link for the actual podcast as well. So if you missed it in the recording, it'll be written out for you all. And I do highly encourage you to at least visit Tara's site and learn more about her, and hopefully we'll have you back as a guest in the future sometime.
I would love it. This has been fantastic. I'd be honored, really, anytime, Pamela.
Wonderful. The pleasure has been completely mine today. Tara, thank you so much. I wish you the best of everything with regards to the challenge, Live You Fully challenge, and with your little boys and Dave and everything that you've got going on. So thank you again for sharing your precious time with us and your precious wisdom with us. It's been absolutely inspiring to share the time with you today.
Thank you, Pamela, and thank you for everything you're standing for in the world. It's really powerful.
Thank you. Well, that's it, everybody. Have a wonderful week. Until next Thursday, call the real you out.